You're listening to Feel Good Astrology with Louisa Tanner-Munson. To request a reading with Louisa, go to www.feelgoodastrology.com.
Welcome back, Pisces. It's Louisa Tanner-Munson from Feel Good Astrology, and I've got your 5-minute forecast for the month of March. Now, this is always quite a sensitive time for you, I think, because you really feel things, don't you, Pisces? And you've had a lot of energy coming close to you and moving through you, and there's still a little bit more sort of overall Pisces energy to come. There are a few switches and changes to be aware of. Most notably is Saturn going into your sign for the next couple of years, 2.5 years or so, and he's going into your sign on the 7th of March, and that's going to be changing things quite a bit. You know, it's quite a sobering effect, and you can listen in a little bit more about that. I've done quite a few recordings about Saturn in Pisces, and a slightly longer recording of about 10 minutes, specifically about Saturn in Pisces and Pluto in Aquarius. So there is that sort of background for you to check in with. But what I really want to share with you is that in this month ahead, whilst you've come from quite a sensitive place very recently, I see you actually going into quite a direct and resourceful space, and that's what I'm most excited for you. So the first thing to share, you know, is that on the 2nd we've got Mercury going into your own sign, which is pretty chatty. It really brings out the sort of bubbliness, the caring side of you, the social side, the slightly wandering side, and it really feels like you are your identity and you're able to communicate really easily about who you are and where you're going. And that's all really well and good, and that feels great. And then on the 7th, leading up to the 7th in particular, as you know, as we're going into the full moon and Saturn changing signs, we've got the moon in your 7th house, which is in the area of other people. And so I guess, like, if you think about the start of the week, it feels like you've been bringing people into your life and you've been getting quite excited and being quite social. And it just feels like, you know, a bit like a piece of fruit ripening on a tree. Your sociability is absolutely at its ripest on the 7th of March. So it does feel really quite important. Now, you are likely to find the people around you a lot more emotional at the time of the full moon, but I actually think it's quite useful having the moon there. You know, it's bringing up the energy of other people and why you might want other people in your life. Now, obviously, on the same day, Saturn is going into your first sign, and with sort of empathic signs like Pisces, I do think you're going to feel that movement. You're going to feel that sort of connection. Saturn is bringing you a bit more seriousness about who and how you are and how you express yourself. So what an interesting conundrum to be serious about yourself as you're finding that you're wanting to feel more with the people around you. So I see that as good. Now, as the month progresses, we've got quite a bit of energy going into the sign of Aries. Now, that's specifically Mercury on the 19th. We've got the sun changing signs. That's the spring equinox on the 20th and the new moon on the 21st, all in the sign of Aries. And this is really, I guess it goes hand in hand with Saturn changing signs, and you're getting more serious about your personal identity with these planets switching into the sign of Aries. It's also bringing quite a sobering thought as to how you organize your finances. So it's not just, you know, who am I? What's my identity? How do people know me? It then becomes, and from what they know about me, how does that change my earning potential? How do I incorporate that into my earning potential? So you're really going into quite a direct and serious time, which is actually not very Piscean. You know, Pisceans tend to overthink and overfeel. So this is actually quite strategic. And I actually think you'll be building confidence in yourself. You know, I always think it's very useful to use skill sets that maybe aren't your natural ones, the ones that you need to practice. You're going to get lots of opportunities to practice them this month. Last of all, then, what I want to share is around the 23rd, we've got Pluto changing signs into the sign of Aquarius. That is signaling the the opportunity to really transform the way you think about things at an unconscious level. If anything, it's showing that you're going into a really long time of personal development. And where you are now, you're going to be in a completely different place in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time. It really feels like you're really developing yourself. Last of all, then, with Mars going into the sign of Cancer, on the 25th, that's really bringing in an element of you taking control and taking action about what you're creative about. So it feels like a very, very powerful month for you, Pisces. So I hope you make the most of it. Lots and lots of love to you. And if you need any guidance or help at all, then just drop me a line. Lots of love. Bye for now.
To request a reading with Louisa, go to www.feelgoodastrology.com.